And we are live. Welcome to the SEO news for week 24. Yep, 24 was last week. So I've gathered all the great news, plus a little bit extra actually, since we had Monday off. So a lot of AI news, a lot of must reads, as you can see here on the sheet where I gather my news. I'm Frederick Drost, Linus Alenius, and we work for Proxy Digital. And let's just jump right in and learn some stuff. The first one here is really cool and interesting because it says Google Search Console fails to report half of all search queries. And I get, we're a pretty big agency. I get a lot of people coming to me with SEO reports that they've created like, hey, why doesn't clicks match sessions and doesn't match overall clicks in Search Console plus filtered? And this is one of those, another piece of the puzzle, basically, in a multi-layered answer to that question, why doesn't they match up? Is it just fair to say there is no true exact data
Yes.
at this stage? That's the short
Yes.
answer. So when we do reporting, we will fetch all queries that have all clicks that have connected to a query. So all the anonymous ones are not filtered, and then Google Search Console filters differently than BigQuery, and there's so many things that goes wrong. So the what I usually tell people is just focus on the evolution of your clicks, and then tie it to revenue. That's the simple answer there.
For sure.
This one is really interesting as well. I like these because I like these kind of case studies that kind of confirms good old SEO still works, you know. And this is basically pages that don't have an H1 but just H2s and H3s, changing the H2 that was the title to the H1 correctly. Yeah, it increased in traffic and significantly. So these are still like very simple factors that Google looks at, and it increased traffic because of better rankings, of course, on the right keywords. So I actually see clients doing this a lot. When you start crawling a website, there's a bunch of important pages that have this issue, whether it's missing or, you know, no H1 or something like that. So yeah, the good old crawl and tasks still work, and I'd probably prioritize these a little bit more even then now. So good to know that still works. This one, a small little news here. Search Console Discover traffic had a report bug, so the traffic kind of dropped for many sites, and then it is fixed now, but it doesn't look like Google will be filling in, or at least we're not sure if it'll be filling it in. So if you've seen a recent drop in the last week or so, it's just a bug. And yeah, mostly if you're in news, that's where you would probably notice this a lot more. Also, very interesting, ChatGPT now looks to be serving images on the Shopify CDN. And also, in addition to that, hosted by OpenAI. A lot of things going on with Shopify and ChatGPT or OpenAI. But yeah, there is. It's been confirmed that there is a deal. They've been shaking hands, and that makes sense. Shopify has so many product feeds and can automate a lot of that product discovery. So getting a deal with them would be great to showcase products. I mean, it's so good for Shopify and so good for OpenAI. So any Shopify client we have, if you're on Shopify as well listening to this video, make sure you if there's anything you need to do to sign up to this feature, you should do it. Although I think you might need to go through the channel of Shopify actually, or maybe have that discussion. It's really cool. And yeah, the future perhaps of AI shopping. We're starting. Google's update to a recipe structured data as well is interesting. A lot of non-AI stuff here. It's great. This one is just a little bit nerdy. I don't think we have too many recipe clients, but or recipe relevant. But the image that you mark up, you can mark up a URL in the URL for an image in your recipe markup, and that does not tie directly into the organic results. So again, I think it's just a good reminder to have good quality images on your page, not just like linked to from your structured data, whether it's recipes or not actually at this stage. So kind of a good reminder there, honestly. And I think with recipes, it could be a ranking factor if the image is of good quality, size, etc. It's what they're hinting at. A little bit of nerdy stuff here, technical. What is the best embedding model for SEO? Well, somebody did all that work for us, so that's great. And again, when embeddings, let's not get too much into that, but you can use them to kind of, like for example, a lot of URLs, you can kind of classify how relevant they are to each other for internal links, et cetera, et cetera. And the MRL is a standout choice here, it seems. So we'll just adapt all of our tools that are using embeddings for this type of stuff, whether it's, on-page content or smaller things. And yeah, I'll make sure to update that. So that's just nice. Thank you for that. Wait, who did djan.ai? Of course, always up with the best articles. Yeah. Oh, this is a big one and a good follow-up to the embedding thing. So Screaming Frog update. That's big. Did you see what they came out with here?
Yes, it's I don't know. It's big strides.
Yeah. Screaming
Like
Frog is a great tool, FYI.
it is. It is. And yeah, I think it's crazy. Like like you said, like we've worked a lot with how do we set up the best embeddings process and make sure to look at semantic similarity, etc. And now Screaming Frog were like, honestly, we'll just do it better than you guys.
Yeah, yeah. The big one here. I mean, I love the code name Knee Deep. Fair enough. The
Yeah.
semantic similarity analysis has piqued my interest, and again, we have internal tools that we can like batch produce relevant URLs and the similarity, so we can internal link opportunities at automated stage. They're kind of doing this as well, but even like with using the entire on-page content, perhaps. But also, like, I'm not sure how this is going to work, but it is awesome that this is not something you need to program with JavaScript. I think the first launch, the really big one, was hey, just write JavaScript and you can use AI prompts for anything on the page. Now they're kind of building the tools to avoid people writing their own code here. I think that's what's happening because you could do this on the previous version, but you had to write some JavaScript. And yeah, so semantic similarity analysis is awesome. The content cluster visualization is good.
Mm.
I love that they can find outliers, off-topic outliers, which is
Yeah.
really that's pretty cool. The content cluster stuff is great as well. Semantic search, a lot of other stuff here. Multi-export upgrades. So data sets to a single Excel or Google Sheet in one go. Save presets. Yeah, there's so much. Just read into it, update it. It's a great tool for everyone out there. It's a must-have. As well, on Twitter, a lot of people are being skeptical about a lot of AI tracking tools. We're in the process of choosing the official one for Proxy right now. There's a bunch of different ones. You either see them coming from already established keyword tracking tools, backlink tools like Ahrefs, or new ones popping up. And it feels like the new ones have a better foundation for just AI tracking. But a lot of people are coming up saying, some of this seems made up. I think we've seen a few examples without naming names, where they were just like, these doesn't look like prompts, people would be saying. So yeah, be skeptical out there, people. That's the lesson here, I think. This one. And I am putting on my tinfoil hat here. A lot of a lot of SEOs are reporting a lot less crawl requests and pages being indexed. And John Mueller responded that they're not a technical issue. There shouldn't be any changes or anything like that. The problem is people are saying, well, it's kind of weird that a lot of people are seeing it at the same time. My tinfoil hat might tell me that Google doesn't care too much about indexing new pages anymore because it's just stealing already known content and using it for AI mode. And they're maybe preparing for a future where crawling is less necessary and it costs money for them, right? So they might be turning it down just for, I don't know what reason. Although it seems weird.
I think there's a problem probably. Like if you like the amount of pages being indexed drops across several pages. I've noticed this for some of my clients as well, and at the same time, discover traffic nosedives as well. I think there's a correlation here.
You can share the tinfoil hat.
Yes.
Is it really tinfoil at this stage? Come on.
I don't
Google
know.
lying? What? That's weird.
But I mean they also I don't know if it's last week's news or the weeks before that where they also discussed the like right now crawling doesn't really work, or like it's not really like they'll lose money for every page they crawl because they first need to index it and then they need to feed it to the AI. So like if it's easily crawlable, they'll still lose money because then they have to like they said that it was for every byte that you save, you lose another additional 8 bytes because you need to feed it to the AI afterwards.
Well, the cost, this is
So
a complete different, like AI overviews cost 100 times more than normal search result, I think, which is still cheap, the normal one, right? So it's not like we're
yeah,
talking dollars here, but is it cost effective to have AI overviews everywhere? Their revenue seems to be going up, but I don't think it's because of that. And I think there's a lot of, I don't know, they're just trying to win the race that they're not even part of, it seems. But yeah, anyway, the takeaway here for this one is monitor, discover, monitor your trends, don't panic. Um, and it could be cleanups as well. There's a bunch of things here going on, but we'll follow along with this in the next video, perhaps. This one, really cool as well. The AI content detector in Ahrefs apparently works really well. People have tested it and they see right through it. At Proxy, we do not recommend that you create AI content and throw it up. And we usually create really good base AI content with a lot of automation and unique prompts with unique data that we feed in. And then we tell people you need to rework these, you need to recheck them, rewrite them, etc., etc. So we don't recommend that people just throw up AI content. But if AI can be detected with Ahrefs, then Google can perhaps do it too. So the question is Google going to just say this is 80% AI, bad, or if there is nothing better than that AI content, will it then still rank the best? Like there's a few discussions that they're going to have Google, and they're probably having. And so
of
yeah.
course it will rank.
Well,
I
if there's nothing better,
100% AI content could still be good content.
yeah,
I don't think they're gonna remove it just because it's AI content.
yeah,
Uh, but 100% AI content is very, very seldom good content.
yeah. And yeah, the better, the more you feed the prompt that's unique and etc. And this, actually, this ties really well into a piece of news that's down the list. So I just moved it up here. So there's a Claude leak, and again, it's a good article. It explains what you can do, like, and it's more specific for Claude, but I'm pretty sure you can mimic that with other LLMs. At least do a little bit of extrapolation. But so the Claude leak, it says here, this is the important part: websites only appear in single search and research. Even more important, that means if you want to have visibility and get a link and a source and people visiting a referral, your content needs to go beyond what the model already knows. And that's super interesting. Who, for example, uh, population of France, they might actually have to research that because it keeps changing, right? And so this just will prompt us to create more unique content. And this goes back to how we help our clients. I feel, at least what we try to do is say, well, what are the unique things you have, data you have, that we can integrate into our prompts, so that the AI creates unique content. If my thoughts are being transcribed and then rewritten by an AI, that is unique content, even though it's AI written. That's my opinion. So that's that. Yeah, this is a must read. Is it? No, it's not. Put it as a must read. There
It's
we go.
definitely a must read. I also think it was super interesting, like the need for like not deep content, but like you're more likely to be linked out to if you have not just text, but also like very like tables with a lot of data, or
Yeah.
charts that go very deep into things, and like then you'll be more inclined to be linked out as well. And I think that's super interesting to think about as well, because for us, I mean, with SEO, I always think that you should have good illustrations, etc., on pages, but text is the most important thing.
Mm.
And I don't know, maybe not anymore.
Yeah. Well, I actually remembered. Yeah, yeah. Like, what can the text is now AI can generate that. So, what's more should we link out to? And I also like the interactive tools, calculators, planners. That's written on the list here. And honestly, that is like, yeah, that makes sense to link to. Reviews, testimonials, user generated content. But again, I'm just seeing SEO, SEO, SEO. I remember talking like back, we did a case study a while ago where it's like, if you just add tables of your data, you can visualize it. But if you have a table underneath that you can, Google loves that and goes, you can actually see the data. It'll rich snippet it right away. So it kind of goes back to SEO here, which is, it's good.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
like, it's not completely new. So yeah, have a read. Good article. Like, the link is gone here. I'll make sure. By the way, all these summarized with a link in the description of this video and the podcast, FYI. This one as well, pretty good. Your GA4 and Google Ads tracking might be failing for these too hard to detect reasons. It's a long phrase. The browsing your website without interacting on the cookie banner, consent banner, of course, and not testing it against all popular ad blockers. That's a big one. I didn't know that ad blockers might be blocking your cookie consent banner or pop-up. So good to know for you analytics nerds out there. By the way, this Optimize Smart Himanshu, apparently it's a big guy in analytics. Follow him if you're into that. Oh, this one as well. Ahrefs, they really dropped the bomb on this one. Basically telling, they came out with an article saying Google is stealing your international traffic. And so a little bit of context. For years, Google have said, do not use automated translations. It's bad. And then they're doing exactly that. And not only that, they're taking your English pages, translating them and hosting them on their own domain. And you cannot, like, they're very static, so you can't really get back to the old way. Like, it's just terrible. So the question now becomes, like, I have my own website. I'm highly considering just translating it to Spanish, Italian, everything. Just automate that, throw it in, and get that up there. Why not? Google is doing it. I'm probably going to test it on my own. I wouldn't recommend clients to do it, but I mean, yeah, it's now a possibility that I would start talking to clients about when it wasn't before.
Yeah.
And honestly, AI coupled with a bunch of other tools when it comes to translating is really good now. I'm reading through English to French translations. They're perfect. It's mostly intent matching, and it's mostly the like one word over another in titles that's wrong. Everything else is pitch on perfect. And if you actually feed it keyword data, it'll just use the right keywords anyway and give it an intent to translate, which you can automate too as well. So yeah, let me show this one for people watching this video. So I like Barry Schwartz here, of course, great follow. He's talking about the great decoupling of clicks and impressions because of AI overviews. Now we can see here, again, just because the scales are different, they were lined up to kind of match. And I see this with a lot of client search consoles that it's being decoupled now. More impressions.
Dare to promise that our high pressure washer is the best value.
I started a stupid ad here. So yeah, if you're seeing this, probably AI overviews. You can deep dive. Then we work with our clients where we actually try to find the keywords they're appearing on, they're not appearing on with AI overviews, and figure out how we can get that visibility, etc. So we're already started that process, but this is a sign that something happened. If you don't see this, AI overviews might not have hit you that hard, or you didn't have any informational content. People also noticing more external links in AI mode. So that's good news. We want that. I'm not afraid of AI mode. We discussed that last week. I just want people to be visible. Like, tell me where you got that info. Show the logo, show the brand name, so people can visit the site. And this one is also really interesting, very AI related here, that the O3 model from OpenAI is it's a better one than the 4.0. And a lot of people don't know that. And I think the naming convention of these models is a bit weird, but that is a better reasoning model. And somebody referred to me the quarter pounder thing with the burgers, where people didn't get that a quarter pounder was smaller than a third pounder or something in America, so they didn't sell a bunch of them. I feel like it's kind of the same thing here. So yeah, if you're using O3 for anything like hard coding, stuff like that, you should probably use that one instead. Good reminder.
And also worth mentioning that Gemini 2.5 is also very, very good model.
Yeah. And Perplexity Sonar Pro is good. I haven't tried Claude, but I think that we're at that. Those are like the top four.
Yeah.
Each model has a bunch of tools and does things differently. Like, not to get into that discussion, we should maybe have a specific episode on all these models and their differences. But Perplexity has, like, it's better at like crawling the internet and the URLs and understanding them and finding them. It's got a better index. It's better connected to the web than OpenAI. But I feel like OpenAI is quite good at like coding and general text if you prompt it well, even reasoning and like research in a weird way. I did like try the deep research model. I was really impressed. Really, really impressed with that. So yeah, and then I'm not so sure about Gemini. Maybe you have some Can you share what you think it's good? It's just overall general.
I think it's good at everything. I think it's very quick, which I enjoy quite a lot. And I think since it's connected to Google, I think like that's by far its biggest pro. Like
Index,
it's very easy to like summarize documents, help out in sheets or in presentations.
Oh, you mean Drive?
Super good.
Yeah.
Super good. But also decent for coding, understanding things.
Most likely connected to Google Search API and Index
Yes.
as well, which is that's a huge benefit.
And I think its biggest pro actually is that it has by far the biggest context window.
Oh,
I don't know
yeah,
what the context window is, but it's massive.
Yeah, you could throw in half a book in there. I know OpenAI, I haven't, for transcripts, OpenAI once gave me that limitation. I changed the model, it worked. So again, I'm just comfortable with whatever with OpenAI. I think the interface is still nice and easy. I think Gemini sounds like it's a good overall. And then Perplexity and OpenAI are kind of fighting for specificness. So yeah.
I think if you're vibe coding a lot, then Gemini is kind of good in that you could probably put in almost your entire code base into it.
Oh wow!
I heard someone who couldn't solve a problem in ChatGPT, and he always got stuck because of the context window, and he was like, "Ah, screw this! Put everything into Gemini, and then it solved it."
All right,
So,
there you go. Yeah, and again, switching these tools are cheap enough that you can actually have both and try
yes.
them. So yeah. Again, I think there's a preferences and stuff like that, but the coding still. I mean, the codex, they released a codex specific model for coding OpenAI, which is quite good and stuff. So yeah. Anyway, I think we'll probably have. I think we should do a full episode on specifics there. New Google Search Console, Search Central, episode, how Googlebot works, the crawling the internet part. They didn't actually release that. They do a lot of nuance here, and I think it's a good episode. And in the beginning, he's reading his notes, and it says job title is my job title. So he's reading the actual template, which I thought was super funny. I left a comment, but yeah, just a little fun note there. I actually learned a little bit there. Also because what is a crawler, etc. They go into a bit of detail. So yeah, for anyone in SEO, just have a little refresher. We kind of forget the basics sometimes because we're so focused on all this other stuff, right? And finally, this one. Oh, I love this one. How easy is it to game AI overviews and LLMs? So the first one is AI overviews. And the example here is pretty interesting. So I'll go through it because this is worth the discussion. Write a thorough listicle blog post on your site. So you're comparing yourself to competitors, and you can kind of say whatever you want. It's you're writing it, and then you could put yourself as the best choice in the top, and it'll reference you even though you're the one who posted that. LinkedIn Pulse article in the same style, YouTube video in the same style, then buy 10 guest posts in niche relevant sites in the same listicle style. The last part you might not even have to. I've seen people just do the 3 top ones, and suddenly you're listed as number 1 example for this and that. That is a big issue. So
massive issue.
Yeah, and so what I have written here is that there will be a new era of spam, like we had back in the early days of SEO, and that companies will need to adapt. Companies meaning OpenAI, Google, Perplexity. They will need to adapt and counter this. So again, this is not a strategy that I suggest. If you do good digital PR and share your product features, and you have a good product, you should be featured or will be featured in these places, and you will pop up, right? That's good digital PR. This is spam technique, and the moment Google figures a way to find these, you will be maybe even penalized. So don't do this. But you might see that there might be an era where we will be outranked by our competitors that are doing this spammy technique, and you have to just really just have some discipline. Don't eat the cake, or you'll get maybe fat. That's the AI overviews part. And then there's somebody on LinkedIn, I have 2 links for this one, posted that he claims that he made himself rank in Perplexity, and it was a company that doesn't exist, and it was like chosen as the best for this and that. And he's not really sharing a lot more there, so I'm kind of waiting to follow up and see what happens there. But I'm pretty sure you could do this because, again, what kind of sources is Perplexity referencing if it doesn't have this in the model? Can we then take those sources and just pay someone to manipulate them? That's kind of like the buying 10 backlinks and suddenly rank number 1 again. It's too easy. So there is going to be a big thing here going on, and it's going to be very interesting to see how this turns out. But if you can game these AIs this easily, that's why they're not good search engines. Google has become hard to game until AI overviews came in. So yeah, Google, if you're listening to this, hopefully not, just kind of work your case out, please. Yeah, it's going to be weird. Have you seen any examples of AI reviews, Linus, where you saw this is obviously somebody manipulated the results?
Not really, but I completely agree with that. It's very possible, and I spoke about this with the client earlier in the week. Of like, we're probably in like we're probably in the beginnings of a new era where not necessarily spam, maybe, but like negative SEO, where you'll try to like not necessarily talk well about yourselves, but also try to de-incentivize your competitors.
Yep. Yeah, 100%. And it's I feel that we need the discipline to not fall into those techniques. And we need to remind people that SEO, even when it comes to these AI tools coming in now, is long term.
Yes.
Right. And on that note, we're done. Thank you.
Yes.
Yes, good conclusion here. So thank you, Linus, for joining. Everyone, please please subscribe. These are weekly links, and all of these news with links and short summaries in the description. And have a lovely day, everyone. See you next week.
Ciao, ciao.